All right, let's make sure it's up on here.
Should be streaming to my account too. Yeah, we're good.
Oh, are we good? Awesome.
Well, I think
I'm
anyway.
just gonna switch it over here. Yeah, the program's awesome for that. I'll give it credit for sure. Beauty. Okay, I think I'm good on my side.
Yeah, we're public on mine too.
Beautiful. Hey everyone, it's Casey from Pine Case. I am joined with the one and only Josh Catlett. Thank you so much. I appreciate you taking the time to jump back on with me. I was definitely excited when you came back over and was like, "Yeah, no, we'll get her done." So thank you for that.
Yeah, I apologize for the first time around. I've been going through a living transition, so my schedule has been all over the place. So I actually fell asleep and slept through my alarm. So I do apologize for that, and to anybody that was waiting on that stream, that live stream too.
Well, I appreciate your honesty, and you know what, honestly, like with life the way it is, like I don't know, man, trying to juggle all the stuff on the internet and life and a job and the personal stuff, like I don't blame you, honestly. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. A lot of people don't understand how much it actually takes to run a platform.
Oh, it is like level. It's I don't even know how to explain it. Like when I first started, my dad was like, "Do it because you want to, not because you think you should, and like just do it as a hobby." And I was like, "As a hobby? Like, no, I'm really serious about this." And now I know what he meant. Like he meant like if you don't enjoy it like a hobby, don't bother because it's
Yeah,
24/7.
you're right. You're right. Yeah, you get a lot goes into it, especially if you want to actually grow a following and grow an audience. You have to treat it like
Mhm.
you got to be on a certain schedule. You have to do things right. Um, so yeah, it's. But I love it though. Like you said, if you don't love it, if you don't do it because you love it, you're not going to continue doing it.
No, and I've been hearing lots lately, people being like, "Oh, it's not about the followers, it's not about the followers." And I'm like, but it kind of is like,
Yeah, yeah,
the only way to really get the message out there or to be able to help people is to get those numbers up. And the only way to get those numbers up is to just be shameless about it a little bit. Like,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. It's about the followers in the sense of the more views you get, the more followers you get, the more people you're reaching. So that's the goal, right?
Yeah, absolutely. It was interesting when I first started the hashtags. People are like, "Oh, like, what do you mean? Like, we recover out loud, and what do you mean Narcan and naloxone saves lives, and like, what is all this?" And people didn't want to really be associated with it. And I'm like, the only way to get to the people that need the help and the people that can help is to market to both people. So you have to put like, positive hashtags and the more serious hashtags. The only way to get that crossover where you can really start to like combine everybody in the same safe space, right?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Oh, there's David. Hi, David.
David Riggins. Shout out
Yeah,
to
your
David
man,
Riggins.
our man, everybody's man. He is the people person lately. Like, what a guy, hey. Stepped out onto the internet and right up into an airplane. I was shook how quickly he was able to mobilize that cause and really get out there and uh, and take one for the team. That was pretty amazing.
Yeah, David's on it. He's all over the place. I love it. I'm pretty sure I gave him his first interview ever.
Yeah, that's what he was telling me. He said, well, he went out the gate. I mean, if it was, I think it was you and then Benjamin Lerner was like shortly after that or to that effect. So yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. He's active for sure.
Hmm.
For sure.
Yeah. So for those who don't know, would you mind giving us a little bit about your story and how the heck you went from overdosing a few times to 110 plus thousand followers and just being out there as a like motivational and a recovery influencer?
Yeah. So honestly, I'll go ahead and give you a little backstory on what happened. I'm
Yeah.
somebody that's pretty much struggled with addiction since the age of 15 years old, in and out of addiction, in and out of institutions like jail, mainly jail. I've only been to rehab once, but mainly jail. So that went on for some years. The fentanyl didn't happen until I actually had a relapse. You know, I went from 15 to 26. It was in and out of jail, on drugs, just doing crazy shit, living a crazy lifestyle. And I ended up
Mm.
getting clean at 26, right? 26 years old. Turned my life around, did a 180, and I was clean for about 5 years. And then I would go on to relapse on fentanyl because opiates has always been my drug of choice. But I
Yeah.
didn't get to the fentanyl until I was about 30 years old. So I would relapse on fentanyl, and that would end up being about a 2-year addiction. Throughout that 2 years, I lost everything on it. My
Yeah.
job, my good job, my house, my vehicles,
Yeah.
everything I had, I lost everything. So I ended up having to move to up towards Nashville to my mother's house so I could get clean because I couldn't get clean in my hometown. I'm from Cleveland, Tennessee. I couldn't
Oh,
get
okay.
clean in I couldn't get clean in my hometown, so I had to move about 2 hours away. So that's what I did, and that's when I started the social media thing because I remember telling myself the first time I got clean because I had such a huge turnaround. I was mad at myself that I actually didn't get on social media and talk about that or
Right.
document the process. So having gotten clean once before and doing it, I felt I can do this again. But this time I had done lost everything. I
Right.
don't got nothing left to lose. So I
Yeah.
started making YouTube videos. About a month into my recovery, I started making YouTube videos. And I did that for about 4 months. They wasn't going anywhere. I didn't know anything about algorithms and how to get followers or
Right.
I didn't know all those little tactics, but I was learning. So the
Right.
YouTube was a good learning process. But for those of you out there that are trying to do the recovery thing on YouTube, the YouTube algorithm does not like recovery content. Anything to do with addiction or the word fentanyl, any of that, it don't like it. So it's very hard to grow on YouTube. But
Mhm.
TikTok was a different story. I got on
Oh, okay.
TikTok, yeah, to promote my YouTube. That was my initial plan. I was like, if I really want to do this and take this serious, I need to be on all these major platforms. And TikTok is the second biggest media platform.
Yeah. Crazy,
So
right?
yeah, so I got on that. It was not long at all. I went viral. About 10 days on TikTok, I ended up going viral. So I was like, damn, I'm on to something with this short form content. So
Yep.
I kept it up. Now, mind you, in the mix of this, I was fighting a charge, a third offense DUI that I had gotten in my addiction. I was fighting a charge. So I was building this following while I was fighting this charge. I ended up having to go to jail and rehab for 45 days. For the people that have been following me since TikTok, y'all know what I'm talking about.
Damn.
Yeah, I ended up having to go take care of some jail time, got that out the way. And then after the jail time and all that, I would get on Facebook because I was like, okay,
Right.
I want to expand even more. Like I'm killing the TikTok game. I want to try to get on other platforms like Instagram, TikTok. I still haven't figured Instagram out, but
Instagram's a beast. I don't know, man. Like
yeah,
you can do the same thing on all platforms and Instagram falls flat for me every time.
yeah, I don't get no views on Instagram, but I've
No.
only went viral once on Instagram, but I've went viral several times. I actually just went viral on Facebook a week ago. I got a reel that hit 1 million views. But
Congratulations.
yeah, thank you. It's all about the consistency though. So I would jump on Facebook after TikTok, and I kind of immediately took off on Facebook too.
Yeah.
I just started uploading old reels that I had put on TikTok. I got the
Yeah.
watermark off of them and all that, and started uploading them to Facebook,
Yeah.
and it just started taking off. So when I started this thing, I didn't really know where it was going to go. I knew I was going to reach people because
Yeah.
that's just how I am. Like my personality is real strong. I'm going to do what I set out to do. I didn't know how fast I
Amen.
would gain a following though, like I have. Uh, it was just about putting myself out there and really being passionate about what I'm doing and sticking to my goals and not veering off anything. So now I've got this community, the Scar Nation community that I've built over the
Yeah.
period of about a year.
And what a beautiful community you have over there. Honestly, like it's taken on a life of its own. I've been watching it and it is what a passionate, loving, like it is, it's a bigger community than some actual towns.
Yeah,
For real.
for sure, for sure.
And more productive. Like you guys do more for for getting the word out there than like actual government funded programs. It's pretty impressive.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I've always had a vision for what I wanted to do on this, basically in my community. I see a lot of division. I'll go ahead and talk about that. In the recovery community, the addiction lane, I see a lot of division.
Yeah.
You got the MAT people, you got the NAAA people, you got the abstinence only people. You just got all these different these communities, and I'm like, I don't like the division of it. It's like, why can't we just accept? The goal here is to recover and stay alive, right?
Yeah.
So I wanted my community to accept everybody. It doesn't matter how you recover. As long as you're striving to that goals and you're staying consistent and recovering, right? Scar Nation. And that's what it's about. That's what I wanted my community to be about.
Yeah, that's super. It's so smart. I get some kickback. Like I just posted so Pine Case, like my company, we are sponsoring and partnered up with a music festival, a metal fest actually, Decimate Metal Fest, for those who don't know, in Millet, Alberta, and we put on like a 420 sale, right? It's like a couple bucks off. It's 420, no big deal. And I got a couple people that were like, thought you were like a mental health page, and I was like, we are all in cumbersome mental health page for a lot of us people, especially in recovery. That's a national holiday, like,
Yeah, there's a lot of people. The whole marijuana that there's even they call it what do they call it? Cali sober.
Oh,
There's people that, and I'm for it. Like whatever.
yeah,
If you get on marijuana and it helps you get off of fentanyl, like you
yes,
won, you're winning. Like you're not going to
yes,
die from smoking weed.
no.
So that's just a step in the right direction.
Yeah, absolutely. And then for other people, I mean, I don't think I could smoke weed. Like I always thought it was kind of crazy, maybe back in the day, but like we have the same DOC. So for me, smoking weed is like not an option, I don't think anyway.
Yeah, marijuana was definitely never something I really cared too much about.
No.
I was a full-blown opiate addict, alcoholic, I got into the meth a little bit,
Yeah.
but nothing ever got a hold of me like those opiates, like the fentanyl.
Well, it's the physical addiction part of it that people don't know. Like I started off, I think similar to you, right? Like, did you have a prescription first or no? You just popped a pill one time?
I never had no, I was always in the streets getting my shit.
Oh, okay. Yeah, right. This is the pill in the car, right? Like, am I thinking right?
Yeah.
Was that the beginning?
Yeah.
Okay.
I can run through that story too again if
you want. Yeah. Let the people know, because what a crazy way to start. Like a lot of the times people steal like prescriptions from their parents, or they get prescribed something or whatever. But like to start like that, like that's.
I always thought the way my fentanyl addiction started was it was ironic a little bit. Like I said, I got clean when I was 26, right? I was an opioid addict then too. Like I had got clean from opioids. I was real heavy on Subutex at that time, which is a MAT medication, but I was abusing it. So
I think that's Suboxone, right? Like in Canada, we call it. Is that Box?
It's just like Suboxone, but it's not Suboxone. Okay. It's a different form. But I had gotten clean on that, so I was already an opioid addict. But I was clean, right? I was in recovery. But I was the type of person that would pop a pill every now and again. I thought that was okay. I would drink every now and again. I thought that was okay. Since then I've found out that I can't do any of that. It's going to always fly out of control. But I went through a phase in my life where, I'm going to just be honest, I kind of wasn't shit. Like I was messing with a lot of different women, right? This specific time, and I don't want to say any names, but I was messing with two at this time. They ended up in my driveway, kind of scuffling, getting into a little fight or whatever. And there was one of these women that was actually actively using fentanyl. I didn't know it. I had no idea. I kind of was speculating on it because, being an addict, I kind of can tell tendencies, but I didn't think too much about it. So, because I was busy, I've always been busy. I was hustling then too. I was working 12 hours a day, doing my thing. I didn't have the social media thing then. So they ended up getting in that little scuffle. I was ended up taking one of them home and the other one just left. So, and then I went back home. I went to sleep. I was tired. I had to work the next day. But I
Yeah.
had no idea about the counterfeit pill problem. That's why you always see me so heavily pushing that counterfeit,
Yeah.
because I didn't know. I had no idea I was taking fentanyl until a couple of months in. But I had found, to get back to the story, in the
Just
midst of
real
this
quick,
scuffle, go ahead.
I appreciate you pushing the fake fentanyl thing. It actually wiped out like about 3 neighborhoods in my hometown. So that, like, big ups to that, just as a thing. Like, thank you for doing that.
Yeah, no problem, no problem. It's a lot of people don't know about it.
Mhm.
It's just well, it's something that can people die from it because they're taking stuff they don't know they're taking. If you don't know about this, you might take a pill that your friend gives you, or hell, take this, and you don't know it's fentanyl. And if you don't have a tolerance to fentanyl, that's when it's the most dangerous.
Yeah, 100%.
So these people that don't have tolerances are taking these 30s filled with fentanyl and they're dropping. So, anyways, I found the pill, right? One of
Yeah.
the girls dropped the pill. I didn't find it till like a week later. I had a day off. I was cleaning my house. I was taking care of things that I didn't have time previously to take care of. So I'm cleaning my vehicles out. I end up finding this little blue pill. And like I said, I'm a former opioid addict. So I knew what a Roxy looked like. And they look
Yeah.
just like Roxy's, but they're fake. So I'm
Right.
thinking, look, I found a Roxy in my car. I don't know how this got in here, but I'm going to take it, right? I got a day off. Fuck it. I'm going to feel good. It's there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just so I did. And it rocked my world. I took half of it. Thank God I didn't take the whole thing. I probably wouldn't be here right now.
Yeah.
But
100%.
I took half of it. It messed me up. I remember the same day my mom came down to visit me. We went out to eat. I couldn't even eat my food. We went to Dos Bros. I remember. I couldn't even eat my food because I was so high on this shit.
Dang.
Later on that day, I would end up taking the other half, and it damn near made me sick. But I liked it though. I liked the way it made me feel. And I remember hitting that. I hit that girl up a couple of days later, and I was like, "I know you dropped something in my car." She admitted to it immediately.
Yeah.
But this is when I was like, "Well, shit, can you get some more?" And that's how it started. That's how the whole little.
Yeah.
I had a plug or a little connect,
Yeah.
and I would hit her up every weekend, and it went like
Right.
that for a long time. And then that's when I would end up actually losing my job to this shit and going to jail. And that's when the spiral went downhill. I ended up cashing out my 401k, 20 grand. I blew that shit in 2.5 months.
Yeah.
And that's when it took a turn for the worst. And I almost ended up on the streets homeless. And that's what drove me to make that decision to move. I couldn't hold a job. I couldn't. It was just bad. I was taking about 30 of these things a day.
30?
Yeah, 30 a day. I got to that. I remember one day I took 40. I remember the most I ever took, and one day I took 40 of them.
Josh. What?
Yeah, that's how high your tolerance can get, though. They don't
I
start out.
mean, no, it don't. And that's what people don't understand. Like when you were saying that people with no tolerance, that's this like statistic. That's the statistic. People that are daily users don't tend to overdose. It's the people out there that are, the weekend warriors tend to overdose. It's the people yo-yoing, trying to come off it that overdose. It's the first timers. Like those are the people that are overdosing. It's not people that are using it. Not to say that daily users aren't in that situation, but yeah, statistically, like it's a lot higher if you're not using every day for sure. So I can't. That's crazy.
That's good that you know that, because that is facts. Which a lot of people don't understand that. That what you said is facts. The people that's most likely to die from fentanyl are the people that have a low tolerance, that don't have a tolerance. Even when I was in the streets, I rarely overdosed. I still did though. So don't listen to this and go, "Oh, if I got a tolerance, I'm good." No, you can.
Yeah, don't be doing that. Yeah, that's right.
Overdose. No, at any time.
I've never overdosed actually. Thank everybody for that, because it's crazy. But I was up to like 3.5 a day, like a ball every 2 days. So the fact that I didn't is insane. But when I went to get on Suboxone, she was like, this statistic, if you make it through my door, I'll be impressed, because you're, one, you're by yourself. Two, you're behind a big deadbolted door in a gated community where no one even knows what the heck fake pills are. Like, good luck, So yeah, that's wild.
Yeah.
That is, I'm sorry, I'm like 30 pills, but yeah, I guess so. I mean, it depends on how you're doing it, right? It doesn't take long to get to that.
Yeah. Well, it gets to a point where, a lot of people don't understand this either. The higher your tolerance gets, the
Mhm.
faster you start going into withdrawal. That's how that
Yes.
works. So when I first started using fentanyl, it would take me 24, a little over that to go into withdrawal, start going into withdrawal to where I actually needed a fix. The higher my tolerance grew, the more I was doing on a daily basis. It got to the point where I would start going into withdrawal 4 hours after my last hit.
Yeah.
I mean, so it it that it grabs a hold of you to the point where you have to keep going and getting it. You have to
Yeah. It's
think,
amazing too. Like when you start at the beginning and you're like, oh, a couple of days and like, 24 hours. And then when you're coming off of it, I know your story about trying Suboxone for the first time, coming off of it for a couple hours. I've been in precipitated withdrawal. So when I heard
yeah,
that story, I was like starting to sweat for you. You know what I mean?
yeah,
But
it's brutal.
it's crazy how quickly like your tolerance versus withdrawal feeling happens.
How much? I see a comment. It said, "How much were you getting those things for? It's 25 each up here." Yeah, I definitely
Mm.
wasn't paying 25 each. About five, honestly, less than $5 in some cases. About $5 a piece.
Yeah, it depends on what. In Canada it was a bit different. We used to the mean greens is what was happening up here. The 80 milligrams, you get those for like $60 a piece, I think at one point is what they were kind of going for. So I guess that's twice as much as whatever. So 15 of those a day. But I mean, you would
Yeah,
have to buy in like a pretty large quantity in order to get them down to like anything less than 10
yeah,
bucks a piece.
and I was also hanging out with a lot of plugs too. So I
Mm,
was always around it. There was a lot I would be able to get for free. Like, or I
yeah.
would do something or let somebody use my car and get 10 of them for that. Or, like, you know what I'm saying? I was hustling this shit up. I
Yeah,
definitely wasn't spending no 1,200 a day, but
no, I still to this day have never pawned nothing for that. Like everyone's like, how the heck did you do it? I'm like, you don't want to know. I mean, I've never, as a female, I never laid down or nothing, but yeah, I
yeah,
definitely worked a 10-hour shift to turn around and work a 14-hour shift. You know what I mean? Like
yeah,
there was no end to it.
yeah. Addiction is one of those things that can actually drive women to do shit they wouldn't normally do. You know,
Mm.
uh, so that's good. That's good you didn't do that.
Yeah, I got mad respect for the girls that are out there doing it, man. And honestly, like we got all sorts of numbers. Like ladies, you can go and check out our hotline. We're here for you. We also understand and respect it as a whole industry. I mean, it is the oldest and the most fierce. And I got, like I said before, I got the utmost respect for anyone that's out there doing that. I just
Mhm.
one dude when I was 12 years old said something to me and it stuck with me always, and because of that it just was something that was never going to happen.
Yeah, you got
Yeah.
morals, but yeah, I tell you though, addiction is one of those things that will have you breaking your morals.
Yeah,
It'll have you
100%.
breaking. So I respect the fact that you didn't break your morals on that aspect, but because I broke mine, like there was things I would do to get this shit that I wasn't proud of, you know.
Hmm.
Like I remember taking, just for an example, I remember I had got my girlfriend a ring, right, like a $1,500 ring.
Yeah.
I remember it got to the point where I literally told her to take that ring off. I'm pawning it for
Yeah.
$60
Yeah,
and going to
man.
get my, you know what I mean? 60. And that ring meant a lot to her, you know, but I didn't give a shit. I needed
Yeah.
money. I needed my fix.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I held a regular job down most of it, to be honest. Like I was paying union dues and like I had the same job for, 7, 8, 9 years and then switched over to another job. I worked 3, 4 years. So like, and I don't say functioning at all or whatever, but yeah, I just never really got to that place. Not to say I didn't like turn around and fuck everything up because
Yeah.
trying to get clean, I don't know what it is about trying to like get clean about the mental space, but I did not care about where I was leaving stuff. Like, I mean, I left a $50,000 truck parked somewhere and just like was like, you're just not in it. You don't even really. I was so dismissive of all those things, and I was like, dang, like to get through my addiction, with all of my shit, just turn around and just like
Yeah.
Hail Mary it into the sunset while I'm getting clean just didn't make sense, but it just is what it is. I mean, it'll take it one way or another anyway. So
Yeah. Yeah. Getting clean from opioids specifically. Like, I'm not trying to shit on the people that get clean from meth and all that. You know, I don't know. I was never, they say only 2% of people. So apparently it's very hard to get clean from methamphetamine too. But them
mm,
opiates is just another level, in my opinion. The withdrawals that you go through
yeah.
is just, it's horrible. It's horrible.
Well, and the what people don't understand about detoxing is it's deadly, man. Never mind the actual drug itself of overdosing, but like the one and only time I was like institutionalized, I went to a detox like space for a couple of weeks. And coming off the benzos and all that was just crazy. But what I didn't understand was like my kidneys started shutting down, my organs started shutting down. Like 2 days into it, they were like going to ship me out to the hospital. And I
Yeah.
was like, you know how many times I've done this by myself at home?
Right.
You know, and they're like, this, it's dangerous. And but I just didn't understand. I was like, oh, you just tough it out, you're fine, or whatever. And you get like, you know, that's not the truth. You got dehydration, vitamin deficiency, mineral deficiency, like lack of nutrition, your kidneys start shutting down, you know, your body's not doing what it's supposed to be doing. And people a lot of times like will perish from that, right? And like, yeah, it's,
Yeah.
which is where the stigma part comes in. Like, we got to help end that so that people want to like go into safe places to get clean. I think that's, you know, key
Yeah.
at this point.
Hydration is definitely key when you're going through withdrawal. You have to force yourself to drink.
Yeah.
Because you're not going to want to. You're not going to want to take anything down. You know, I know how that feels, but you got to force yourself to drink. So anybody out there trying to do the withdrawal thing, for one, don't withdraw at home from benzos or alcohol.
No.
You can seizure out and die. But when it comes to opioids, people don't typically die from opioid withdrawal, but you can indirectly die. Like if you have underlying health problems or maybe a heart condition or something, I would seek medical help to even withdraw from that and stay hydrated. That's the number one.
Yeah, stay hydrated. The other thing too is like when you do a urine, I had a level urine test done before I detoxed, and my benzos were so high in my urine. Like I thought I was a heroin addict. Turned out I was not. There wasn't no heroin in it. It was fentanyl, methamphetamines, and benzos. So because you can die from benzo withdrawal, like be careful when you're coming off of fentanyl for sure, because it's usually not what you think it is in there.
Yeah, they're putting everything into these pressed pills, and you know, it's like a bunch of shit mixed together. When I was in rehab, there would be people coming in there. They thought they were just doing fentanyl. They would have meth, all what you said, meth in their system, benzos, all kinds of different shit.
Yeah. Coming off benzos is like it's a whole other beast. I remember I went in there and I was like, you know, thought I knew what I was saying. And the nurse came back and was like, oh, nope, you're not actually it. That's not the type of addict you are. And I like thought it was kind of funny. Like, I was like, what do you mean? Like, they're like, that you think you're a heroin addict, but that's not even in what the hell you're doing. I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, who knew?
The drug game has changed, definitely. It's different these days.
Yeah, absolutely.
A lot more dangerous.
Yeah, it's crazy. You know what though? You know, it's funny because you were talking about like going viral and stuff, and I'm sitting here and I think a lot of it, not that I can be like, I know why you went viral, but because of your attitude towards recovery. Like I don't often, even just the way that you said that story about how you got onto pills, never once did you refer to it as like a, oh, woe is me thing. And I'm not hating on anybody out there. Everyone's got their bit, you know, but I really appreciate like how positive you are when you talk about it. Like you talk about it like facts, like this is what it is. And like, this is what we're going to do. And this is what we've been doing and stuff. And like your energy when you come with it is it's a different energy than most.
I really appreciate you telling me that, because that was actually my goal. Another, just, you know, to break off into that, what you're saying.
Yeah.
Another reason I started the social media thing is because when I was going through my withdrawals, I was relentlessly searching the internet for some kind of motivation, just some kind of answers. I needed somebody I could relate with, and I couldn't relate with anybody. I was just like, dude, like I need somebody that's gonna motivate me, somebody that's gonna get on here and just say it like it fucking is. I hate to say it like this. I just hate to put it like this. To me, I saw a bunch of pussy shit. Like it did not resonate with me. It did not. It was a bunch of people talking about, oh, it's gonna be okay a year later. I'm still going through depression. I'm like, fuck that. I don't want to hear that shit. But I'm gonna be a year late. You know what I'm saying? So I came with a different energy, and it's real though. It's not fake. I'm not just out here putting on a front. Like, it's real. You get through this shit and you focus on your goals. You can find happiness again. You don't have to be on those substances. You can do that. So
yes, exactly.
I came with a different energy, and I knew that. I knew I had a different energy. I knew people needed a guy like me, honestly.
100%. Look at your cheeks. You're all suntanned up, ready to go. Like, you're like, it's not even summer yet, and you're already like, yeah, we're doing this. It doesn't matter whether you got a six pack or not. You're already ready for the beach because like you've been ready. Like you just stay ready all the time. And I appreciate about that because the same as you. I was like, what in the hell? I didn't want to listen to it. There was one YouTuber, and I wish I could remember his name right now because he's one of the OGs of it. Him and his buddy put out a couple of videos on YouTube, and they were like, one video is them like puking into the toilet, and then the next one is like them like outside trying to like get to the park, like for like a 2-minute walk or whatever. And that was one video out of every video that I looked for that was remotely close to what was gonna like, it was even how I felt. Like, I don't want to, if I feel like shit, I don't want to sit here and listen to a bunch of people that feel like shit. That sucks. Like, it's
yes. Exactly. That's what I wanted to do. I wanted to show people, hey, this is what you can achieve. Like, you can't be weak about it. Like, you got to get up and really start putting the work in. See, a lot of people, I think the problem is they will just get clean. They'll and they won't start doing the work. The work is essential for happiness. What do you think opens that dopamine receptor naturally? Accomplishing things.
Yes.
That's what gives you that natural boost. So when you take drugs, you open up you open it up artificially. You're not achieving anything. You're not accomplishing anything. You're just opening up that dopamine storage receptor pathway or whatever.
Yeah, so you're flooding your brain, you're flooding your whole body with an artificial hormone. And then when we come off of that, we need to replace that with something. The problem is that in the medical field, they give us another artificial thing to replace that with. And I'm not hating on Suboxone or any OAT medication or antidepressants or nothing, because it's all necessary. However, if you can find things like, food and fresh air and the sun. I mean, I worship the sun more than I worship dope ever. Like, if you can find things that'll give you that natural release of dopamine, then you're sure to heal and recover quicker than you would sitting inside. Tenfold.
Yeah. And you're right. That's what I try to tell people. Like I said, I think Suboxone, methadone, and stuff like that is a great tool to help you out on your journey. Personally, I would have the goal of eventually coming off of all that one day. But there's definitely a benefit to MAT. I'm not hating on it. I never would. But I would not. There was one thing that I did not agree with when the doctor was talking to me. You might have to be on this for the rest of your life. As soon as I heard that, I said, fuck that. I'm not going to be on this shit for the rest of my life.
Yeah. No, it's not necessary. And the fact that they put it out there like that just sets people up for failure. Because one, a lot of people don't go back to go do the research to see if that's even a thing. And two, as soon as you get it in your head, like that's it, then why would you even bother trying? I mean, that's a doctor. And it's honestly like it's like clockwork. Like every doctor I've ever talked to, they say the same thing. And the first thing I say to them is like, yeah, well, I'll be tapering down soon. And they're like, well, I don't know. And I'm like,
they're incentivized to keep you on it, I think. Like, I think it's incentive. Yeah, it's an incentive thing because they figured out, I mean, the drug game makes billions of dollars. So if they can transition a bunch of these addicts onto their legal, shit that keeps you hooked, that's profit for them.
Man, did you see what they did in Vancouver? Like, I'm originally from Vancouver Island, right? And East Hastings was somewhere like I used to go there as a kid lots to like just, go and smoke weed at the Amsterdam Cafe or whatever. And when they couldn't kind of because a little bit about East Hastings. So East Hastings is known as like the, the most dangerous drug infused neighborhood in Canada for sure, probably the world at this point. Yeah, it's crazy. And it's kind of almost glamorized, right? But what the difference was is that back then when you would go down there, you'd walk around. If you say we're walking with a kid, they would say kid, and everyone on that block would tuck their stuff away. There was like a respect. There was like a camaraderie between everybody, and you could safely get from one end to the other. Now it's so flooded with like harm reduction tools and safe supply that people can't even like keep their eyes open long enough to know what is happening. And I mean, obviously it's a political conversation and all of that, but as soon as the government stepped in and tried to monopolize the drug world, it had some serious adverse effects on what was happening in something that we kind of had, a lid on a little bit. I mean, fentanyl, there's a structure to that, you know what I mean? Like that's not heroin coming over in the boats from India. Like this is a totally different thing. It's a medical grade fentanyl. And as soon as that happened, it like blew the lid right off of it. And now we're stuck in the situation that the government's really the only one making money. I mean, it's sad.
Yeah. There's a lot of incentives when it comes to this stuff. You kind of got to just think for yourself. And that's a problem really in America. I don't know about Canada, but the media, doctors, and we are not even going to get into all that. I don't care about it. But people are easily controlled. People are easily manipulated, and that's just how it is. So there's not a doctor in this world that can make me believe that I would have to be on MAT for the rest of my life.
No.
I'm just not going to go for it. My MAT is the gym and focusing on my goals and staying busy. That don't mean that I don't think a relapse can happen, though. I understand that. I understand that a relapse is right around the corner for anybody. But you have to set yourself up for success by removing yourself from these situations, the environment. That's going to help a lot. Removing yourself from people, places, and things. And then finding hobbies, routines, things that you basically just build this infrastructure and you keep it that way. And that's going to keep you clean.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. That safety net and like being vocal about it. Like you don't have to be out here by yourself. Like, the more that, I mean, the internet's a great place, especially like Scar Nation. You guys are a safe place. I send people over to you all the time. We focus, a lot on music as a tool to like, break the barriers in conversation and stuff like that. But there's too many outlets nowadays for people to be like struggling by themselves, in any stretch of the imagination. So good on you.
Yeah, that's the whole point of the Scar Nation movement, the community, because I think that's a big aspect to recovery is community, being able to connect with other people. You never want to like just crawl up in a shell and not talk to nobody when you're going through something like that.
No,
it's going to be hard to get through it. So, but the music, that's a good point because music has helped me every time I've gotten clean. Music has been a big factor to that.
Yeah, hey, it's interesting that we don't that it's not really acknowledged in like I say structured in an institution sort of way. Like when I was in detox, it was like the one thing I noticed that wasn't happening. I was like, it is so deafeningly quiet in here. Like you're just like left with your own devices. But music is definitely one of those things that fills that space in a healthy way. It opens the door for communication. Men specifically have a hell of a time talking about mental health or anything. And so the push was to like create a safe place where we could like shoot the shit over something. And I was like, what's going to break that barrier down? And what's really cool is now we're actually, we partnered with Decimate Metal Fest. So we have like a massive music festival happening in June. And it's like, there's like 25 artists on the rider. The vendors are totally happening. And it's like super great to be a part of that. And then on the down low, we have a scholarship program for people that have are fighting through adversity. So if you're in school and you need a couple of bucks, and you can apply to our scholarship. So it's like open to anybody that's doing anything really.
That's
and
awesome.
And then we just signed off on our first bursary recipient. So we had DJ Lion. Shout out to DJ Lion. He's a 10-year-old DJ. We got him some DJing equipment, and he's now like on the bills for a couple of festivals in the summer. And it was just like, because like the same as you, like you're out there, you're getting people motivated, you're at the gym, you're doing things, and I was like, how can we kind of have all of this stuff for what? And I'm like, we got to do something for somebody. Like, do it for the kids, man, and show the kids that it's cool to talk about mental health, and show the kids that it's cool to talk about being sober. It's cool to have these conversations. Like, I just couldn't figure out how else to do it, but music seemed to be like the safe place. So
yeah, a lot of people like that guy Dax. He's a good one when it comes to mental health and shit. You know who that is, Dax?
My son, actually, if you go through my photos, I'll pin it up. Dax, actually, my son, for his 10th birthday, we met him. We went to a show. Wow. And that song, well, a few of his songs, but I mean, not only is he a wicked artist, he's a totally cool guy. So, we just had a fundraiser actually and auctioned off one of his jackets. Yeah, I know Dax. Dax is awesome. Yeah.
One of my dreams is to be able to start speaking like publicly, and like get involved with them, like Jelly Roll, people like Dax, and people that kind of advocate for addiction awareness, recovery, that kind of realm of things. Because Jelly Roll goes hard.
Jelly Roll goes hard. Yeah, I was listening to him on the before we started this, and he's definitely got it going on. Like, it's cool because just like I think it's important to make sobriety cool, or not sobriety, but like health and wellness cool. He makes it cool to be like tattied up, and she was doing her thing before they were doing their thing, and like so not only is like their music awesome, but they look and act like us.
Yes, that was another goal that I had and still have, is to make it cool. Man. Shit cool. Because how are these kids going to relate to you? How are the young people going to relate to you when you can't even make it look cool?
Yep, that's exactly.
That's what kids go for. What's cool?
Yeah, exactly.
You hear a song talking about selling dope and all this other shit that like it's glamorized. Why can't some cool dude come out and make not doing that shit cool? So.
Yep, exactly. Well, that's what we're doing. Yeah, we got to get you the goal right now is to open up a retreat.
Yeah.
I wasn't going to bring it up, but like the goal is to open up a retreat. And when we do that, we'll definitely have to get you in there, doing the thing and talking the thing. Cause I think you're already, motivate. You're already doing the motivational speaking part of it, really.
For sure. Yeah.
It's just the engagement.
I would definitely do that. You just let me know. What you talking about in Canada?
No, well, Canada's cool too, but we're opening up a spot down in Jamaica, actually.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'll come anywhere and speak. Something I like to do.
Yeah. So this Facebook that I'm using right now is actually my brother's, who passed away. He overdosed, and this was actually our Facebook for when he was in jail. We would sell like shoes and stuff, or like drone stuff. It was, we were bad kids, right? And so right before when he passed away, like right before he passed away, I was chatting with him, and I was like, well, like, cause he was like fucking around, and I was like, oh, I say, if you die, I'm gonna turn all your shit into a recovery thing. And so this is his Facebook actually, and our hotline is actually his old dope line. But
that's crazy. There's a lot of sentimental value to all that.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. So what we want to do is have like a mental health, retreat where people can go and grieve their losses and navigate their, addiction or recovery or whatever that looks like, and have people go down there and play some music and have some motivational speakers and just nurture people through nutrition and being active. And
y'all gotta have me.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
I would love to, for sure.
Yeah, that sounds good. So what's on the horizon for you? What are you up to these days? Like, what's you're working and doing all of this? Like, do you have like a short-term goal in mind, or are you just going to keep this up? Like, what's the plan here?
Well, one of my goals right now is to be able to get my driving privileges back, because without those, I'm not going to be able to go to any speaking. That's why I haven't really done it already. I've already been out there speaking. If I could drive, if I could, but a third offense DUI is a pretty serious charge. So I'm still
Yeah.
going through, paying some shit off and having to wait to actually be able to apply to get my license back. So, that's one of my short-term goals, being able to get back on the road, growing my social media. I consistently growing my brand, my community, getting that bigger and bigger. I want it to be all over the world one day. I want everybody in the world to know what Scar Nation is.
Absolutely.
So I work relentlessly to push my brand.
Well, I mean, you got people out there getting it tattooed on them. You got free advertising with love all over the place, man.
Yeah, and we're gonna get a lot more of those too. Now that I got mine,
Yeah,
I got a lot more people wanting the tattoo.
that's so.
Get it,
That was awesome. I seen the thread afterwards, and everyone was like, "I'm gonna get me a Scar Nation tattoo." I was like, "That's so cool!" Like, yeah, one day we're gonna be hanging out, and there's just gonna be like Scar Nation tattoos everywhere.
Yeah, it's a real movement. It's a real movement. I'm
That's
proud of it.
Super, super cool. Very cool.
So yeah, that's pretty much my goals. Just keep it going. Obviously, I want to be the guy that came from nothing and accomplished everything. That's what I want to do.
Yeah. Well, I think Josh, I think you're well on your way. You're definitely headed in the right direction. Going viral is one thing, whatever, but the hard work in between, it's definitely obvious. And I hope it pays off. I know it'll pay off for you because you have nowhere else to go. You know what I mean? Like, you're already up, and I don't fall in. That's not a thing. Not for real hustlers. Not for real hustlers.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. You got to stay on that ground for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, cool. Well, I unfortunately have to wrap this up, but I could sit here and chat with you forever. I appreciate you so very much. Thank you. I'm just looking at all these comments out here, and like,
Diana, she's getting hers soon, her tattoo.
Yeah. You went live with her a little while back. Am I thinking right?
You said we went live?
With Tiana, did you chat with her a little while? Yeah.
Shout out to Tiana. She's one of the most, if not the most active members in my community. She helps a lot with the infrastructure of Scar Nation, like the inside work.
Okay.
She does a lot. So
very cool. Yeah, everyone's got one, right? Like, shout out to you, sweetheart. Honestly, I got mine. Like, my person's Calico. She does all my programming for me, and she's like totally deadly. But it's amazing to the ones that like see your initiative and just like run with it.
Yeah. People feel it. People feel what I say, and they see the movement, they see where it's going, and they're jumping on board. And I'm glad, because the community is what's going to push this thing over the edge.
Yeah, absolutely.
People like it. So
I'm
proud of it.
Yeah, I'm proud of you. Let me know if there's anything that we can do up here in Canada, and Calico and I with Pine Case, like, we'd be more than happy to we're already spreading the word of Scar Nation, so you don't have to worry about that. But yeah, we'll team up and get something done for sure. Yeah, man. Yeah, it's awesome. All right. Well, like I said, everybody, thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you, Josh Catlett, for joining me today. I appreciate it. All the love and success in the world. And to everybody in the comments, we've been actually quickly posting all the emergency numbers. So we have the suicide hotline posted up in there. We have the crisis number posted up in there. We also have Alberta and Canada ones specific, so I'll be sure to do the ones in your community as well. If you guys are looking for a recovery group, please head over to Scar Nation. It's basically a virtual meeting all the time, motivation, speaking, and all the love, and people like Tiana are running it. So when Josh isn't around, you don't have to worry about that. There's always somebody there to make sure you guys are in good hands. Us over here in Pine Case, we're working on our Metal Fest coming up in June in Millet, Alberta. 6th and 7th. So you guys can, or 7th and 8th, pardon me. So you can check that out and stay safe.
Yeah, for sure. Shout out to everybody that showed up and sat in here and supported this podcast. And I'll be live at 6 p.m. here in a couple hours to get my other tattoo. I'm getting another tattoo, so I'm gonna go ahead and throw that out there. So
Be sure to chime in for sure. Yeah, I'll be watching that definitely. You're getting it all filled in, hey?
No. I'm getting the left arm started.
Damn.
Yeah, I'm getting
All
the
right.
left arm started. Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah. So yeah, shout out to everybody. I love you guys, man. Thank you for having me on. Thank
It
you.
was an absolute
This-
pleasure. Absolute pleasure, Josh. Thank
Yeah.
you so much.
All right. Peace out.
All right, everybody. I'm out of here. I got things to do this afternoon, but thank you so much for joining us on a Saturday. Like I said before, if you haven't already, head over and go check out Scar Nation. Josh Catlett is absolutely on the ground running, making sure that everybody's staying safe and have something to do that isn't just sitting there feeling sorry for yourself. So big ups to him. Take care, and we will see you all on Tuesday. Bye for now.